Now, my political power panel, Dennis Kucinich, former congressman and two-time presidential candidate, Horace Cooper, co-chair of Project 21, a national leadership network of black conservatives, and Debbie Hines, a former prosecutor and trial attorney. All right, Dennis, you thought it was a bad idea for Kamala Harris to bring race onto the debate stage. Why?
Well, first of all, Joe Biden's record is fair game. But if you divide Democrats on race, you lose. You divide and Trump conquers. Black turnout, voting turnout dropped 7% in 2016 from 66.6% to 59.6%. You want African Americans to vote? Have a plan. Address racial disparities in wealth, wages, health. Well, talk about working poor families. Look at the crime and the murder rate in black communities and how people are treated by the police. I mean, these are issues that will motivate people. But if you just use it on race in a kind of a personal attack, Democrats are going to lose.
Debbie, you thought it was a great moment for her. Why?
It was absolutely a great moment for her. And to answer Dennis's question, race is in everything in America. I mean, race is in the water we drink, whether it's Flint, Michigan. It's in who goes to jail, who gets shot, who gets killed by the police. You cannot avoid race. And she was just letting it known what he had already said like a week or so later. I mean, honestly, Joe Biden literally put his foot in his mouth a week or so ago when he brought up the whole section about segregationists. And all she did is shove his foot down his throat. That's all that happened.
She didn't mention that the segregationists were both Democrats, the Democrat senators, of course, from the South. That's a convenient fact that a lot of the Democrats today want to sweep under the rug. But Joe Biden did try to clean up what he said last night at a Rainbow Push event today. Let's watch.
I heard and I listened to and I respect Senator Harris. But, you know, we all know that 30 seconds to 60 seconds on a campaign debate exchange can't do justice to a lifetime committed to civil rights. I want to be absolutely clear about my record and position on racial justice, including busing. I never, ever opposed voluntary busing. And as a program that Senator Harris participated in, and it made a difference in her life. I've always been in favor of using federal authority to overcome state-initiated segregation.
I mean, really, Horace, he thought he had to do major cleanup. I couldn't help but think, though, it's the year 2019, and the Democrats are relitigating busing. I mean, I find this to be just fascinating.
Couple quick takeaways. One, did you note how tired he sounded both during the debate, giving back his time, who does that, and even during the cleanup period? It was some trudgery that he had to go through. This is part of the problem that vice presidents have. Let me tell you what he should have done last night. He should have had a sister soldier moment where he turned to Kamala Harris and explained to her that it was 2019 and the complaints that she was raising about busing isn't even popular within the black community, let alone within America broadly. That's what he should have done. But those who live by the sword die by the sword. He called out Republicans and his opponents as racist, saying they're going to hook you guys all back up in chains, and now it's come back to haunt him. He should never have used the race foil, and it's never a good idea to have that show up in a debate.
No one will really end up measuring up. Very few under this. The goalposts are always changing. I mean, I literally never would have thought the Democrats would be arguing about busing in 2019. I'm just going to say that. I mean, it's 2019. I mean, we have new challenges. Debbie raised a criminal justice issue. Okay, those are interesting today. To me, that was a disconnect, and I understand it was like Kamala's moment. This is the echo chamber of Washington. I'm not sure long-term that ends up playing, but the media reaction post-debate about some of the positions that were taken, the panel, was quite revealing. Let's watch.
This is not good. This is a bad night for Joe Biden. It's a bad night for Democrats.
On immigration, the way that they talked about it, all raising their hands when they said health care coverage for undocumented immigrants. This is something.
And can I show you? I'm texting with Trump campaign sources.
They love it. They love
Christmas.
Yeah.
Compared to Christmas, gleeful.
Last night was a disaster for the Democratic Party. My only hope is people were not watching.
Dennis, do you agree with that media montage?
It's still early in the campaign. My concern is that, look, let's have a plan to address the issues of racial disparity, economic and social. That's what I think we should be. Somebody should be talking about that instead of just, well, you did this so many years ago. That's legitimate to raise it, but when you focus on that and you don't give any options for people, voters get turned off. And polarization in an election, some people will vote, others might not. You got to be very careful. I really am very concerned, Laura, about the polarity that exists in American politics today, and anything that intensifies it really protects the status quo.
There was a moment last night, panel, where Biden seemed to defend President Obama. It was actually today, excuse me, where he tried to defend President Obama. And people are saying, well, Obama at one point did too many deportations and so forth. And then Biden stepped forward and said, wait a second now, is he not liberal enough for this crowd? Let's watch.
My president gets much too little credit for all that he did. He was one of the great presidents of the United States of America. And I'm tired of hearing about what he didn't do. This man had a backbone like a ramrod.
I don't even know what that means, but Debbie, your thoughts on that one?
I mean, honestly, there are many progressives that, not just in 2019, I don't know what it means either, Laura, to answer.
What does that mean?
We'll have to look that one up and Google it.
Debbie.
But, I mean, honestly, in 2019 and during President Obama's term, there were many progressives, such as myself, who did not think he went progressive enough. So this is not just a new 2019 thing, whether it was a deportations or whether it was not fighting hard enough for the public option. This is not just something that's being raised. And so if Joe Biden is going to try to attach himself to the coattails of President Obama, he gets to take the good and the bad. And it seems like that's all he wants to do. But he has to run on his record and his past. He has to do that. He cannot stand on his mother, his father, his sister, or his brother, or President Obama.
So, Horace, that's where Biden is, though. He's desperate to get some of the reflected glory from Obama, right? Like, don't you pick on Barack Obama. I'm sorry, that was a sad moment. That was a sad moment for Biden. And I've always liked him. I got to say, I don't agree with him, but I've always kind of liked Biden as just a person. But he seems kind of a smaller person now in this situation to me. I mean, that was bizarre. I'm sorry. That was just a strange moment.
Well, it's my observation that it's very difficult for a sitting vice president or a former vice president to actually ever win the presidency. One of the reasons is that a vice president is selected to balance the ticket, not to be in the mainstream of the ticket. But when he runs in the primary, he has to sit in the middle of where the party is. And that means he has to forego his existing record. You saw that with Mondale. You saw that with Al Gore. You're seeing it now with him. Add to that the poison of we can call anybody a racist for any reason today, and what you see is a man who's living on some borrowed time.
Dennis, we're going to go lightning round. I think that's the best way to do this because I still can't believe that comment he made about Obama. All right, Dennis, is this a fatal blow to Joe Biden?
I don't think so. I mean, he seems to have a strong support in the black community. I don't think that'll disintegrate. He has the support of a number of major black leaders. But however, I hope, lightning round, that it does cause redirection to the issues of disparities that exist based on color in America.
Debbie, is this Kamala's time? I mean, it's just she's going to rise above and beyond where Biden hoped to be at this point.
Well, look, you know, in politics, as in life, only the strong survive. And last night, she was mightily strong. And so we just have to see what goes. It was still one day. And when in politics, I mean, a week from now is like an eternity. And you're talking about 2020. But I think she's got the momentum. And if she can just carry the momentum. And, you know, Biden, he looked weak.
You got to do more than memorize a choreographed hit, though, which I'm going to get to in a few minutes. Go ahead.
All the other guys got to see that Joe Biden had a glass jaw. It got hit, and I promise you, as these debates go forward, other people are going to stand up and they're going to take a swing too.
What a great panel. Thank you, guys.